Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today we're going to be looking at some mid-year stats as well as checking in on my goals for 2023. So this will be kind of a summary video for me to chat through some of my goals for the year and make sure that I'm on track to meet them by the end of the year, as well as talking to you guys about some stats for the books that I've read, what I've enjoyed, what I haven't. So yeah, let's get started. Goal number 1 is to read 75 books this year, and within the first 6 months of the year, I've read 65 books, so I'll definitely meet the goal. I purposefully set this goal a little lower this year than I would have expected because I want to give myself the freedom to read some chunky books and not feel super pressed for time. I read 111 books last year, and my page count was around 350, I believe, and so I really wanted to increase that page count this year and focus on those chunky books that I really tend to enjoy. Goal number 2 is to change my background, which I have done twice this year, so I'm excited to be able to show off my bookshelves and specifically my new shelves. I'm really excited that I can now put these in my videos. Goal number 3, I did a complete separate video for, and that is I wanted to finish as many series as I've started. So I did a check-in for this either in early June or late May, and I have, at that point in time, I had read 19 and finished 19 series within the year of 2023. I think currently I might have started a few new series without finishing old ones, and so I do think my numbers are a little off, but I think that I'm doing okay for it being in the middle of the year. I can always finish more series along the year, so I think that this is actually a goal I'm going to be able to meet, which is super surprising because I thought that setting that goal was a little intimidating, but I'm glad that, yeah, it's worked out well so far. Goal number 4 was to read my 23 books in 2023, which I did a separate video for, and a separate check-in, I think, in early May. Currently, I have read 13 of the 23 books that I proposed to read in 2023, and I'm reading 4 more of the 23 in July. So I think I'm doing well on this. If I finish all 23 with a couple of months left in the year, I might do a separate video of like some more reads that I want to read prior to the end of the year. So we'll see. Goal number 5 was to read books that fit into my book hunt selection. So I picked out, I think there were 10 different categories of books or themes in books that I really enjoyed, and I wanted to make sure that I was hunting for books specifically in those areas. I have been keeping track of books that fit, and my goal for this was to find at least one book in each category. I have done that and more. I will do more of a showcase of the book hunt at the end of the year. But yeah, so I've met that goal, and I plan to continue kind of monitoring the books. I do want to change my book hunt idea next year slightly, but I'll talk about that later in the year. Goal number 6 was to participate in Readalongs or Readathons, and I have participated in Tackle Your TBR twice, and I'm also participating in the first Law Along on Becca and the Books channel. And the Tackle Your TBR is from the Reading Nymphs channel. It's Kirsten at the Reading Nymph. And so I've really enjoyed these experiences. I do plan on doing more Readathons throughout the next couple of months, so hopefully I can showcase those on videos as well. Goal number 7 was to participate in more buddy reads, which I have definitely accomplished. I have done buddy reads with Leandra at Leandra, the TBR 0. I've also have some scheduled with Ginny Chasteen and Nala from Here There Be Stories. Sorry, I always mess up her channel name. I have buddy reads scheduled with Jolene at Bookworm Adventure Girl, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody. I apologize if I'm missing you, but they're experiences I've really enjoyed. And so yeah, I'm definitely planning on continuing buddy read. Goal number 8 was to participate in Year of Sanderson. I have definitely done that. I've done my unboxing videos. I've done one review of the Secret Projects. I did not review Secret Project number 2 because it wasn't my favorite, and I just didn't want to put out a bad review, or not a bad review, but like a mediocre review of a book. And so I do plan on continuing with the Year of Sanderson. I also have plans next year to perhaps do a Sanderson, like a Year of Sanderson continued, where I read through some of the Sanderson books that I haven't gotten to yet. Goal number 9 is to continue my Fantasy Genre Blends series, which I've I have accomplished. And then goal number 10 was to be more varied in my reading, which I have not accomplished, and you'll see that whenever we get to stats. As far as my stats go, I'll have some graphics over here, and I'm not gonna read all of them to you guys. I'll just talk about the major factors. So I have read 65 books, or had read 65 books when it came to the end of June. My average rating for all 65 books was a 3.76, so not bad. My average page count is 415 pages, which is a big jump from the 350, I think it was 350 last year. It was in the 300s, and I'm pretty sure it was in the lower 300s. So I'm excited that I'm reading more chunky books, and I have loved a lot of the chunky books that I've read. Coming up soon, there will be another chunky check-in where I talk about 10 more chunky books that I have read, so I am excited to continue with that. As far as my genres, the main genre that I've read this year, and I was astounded by this number, I've read 38 fantasy novels. Now, those are including the series that I've continued because of the fact that I've completed 19 series, and most of my series are fantasy series. That's going to add to that number. And I had a lot of subgenres of fantasy. I think I had 25 total books that I just considered fantasy, even though some of those probably could be considered subgenres, and then all of the others were subgenres of fantasy. My next highest genre read was horror, which I was excited about, is 9 horror novels. And then sci-fi comes in third with 5 sci-fi novels. So I'm excited to be reading more horror. I want that number to be bigger. And I'm sure with the month of October coming, that will raise quite a bit. A number here that really surprised me, even though I've had it kind of as a goal in the back of my mind, is to read more nonfiction books. I have read 2 nonfiction books. One of those was on my 23 books in 2023, and then the other one I just recently picked up. I have a really hard time picking up nonfiction books, committing time to reading them, and they're more mentally taxing for me, and I read partially for escapism, and so it is hard for me to pick up those nonfiction books. So I am proud of myself for reading 2 nonfictions. As far as the average rating for those genres go, fantasy had an average rating of 3.85, which is pretty high for 38 books. For horror, the average was 3.6, which I think is a pretty good average rating for 9 horror novels. And then my sci-fi was an average of 4. So I think my sci-fi novels we're doing pretty good there as well. The one that surprised me, and this is really just because of the fact that there's only 1 book in this category, but I did read 1 contemporary novel and I rated a 4.5. So my contemporary, like my highest average rating, is a 4.5, even though it was only 1 book. I don't read a lot of contemporary most of the time. I do not enjoy it. And so I thought that was like a little surprise read. That was Ragged Company. I'll put a link for the video that I read that in. It was a really good book. It was definitely not expected. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Out of the books that I've read, 8 have been debut authors. The rest were established authors. Within the established authors, 33 of those were authors that I was completely new to. So they are authors that are not new authors to read or to writing, but they are new authors to me. And then there are 24 of those that are authors that I have read a book from before. I've had 10 5-star reads so far this year, 5 4.5 stars, 27 4 stars, and then it varies from there. I've read 52 adult books, 12 YA novels, and 1 middle grade. For the adult novels, the average rating was a 3.85. For the YA novels, it was a 3.5, and for my middle grade, it was a 3. In January, I read 7 books. In February, I read 12, and in March, I read 8. In April, I read 11. In May, I read 14, and in June, I read 13. My highest average rating was a 4.14 that happened in March, and my largest average page number for a month was in January at 517 pages per book. And that's it for my stats and my goals for the year. I think I'm doing pretty good so far. I definitely have some things that I want to accomplish in the later half of the year, but I'm happy so far. So if you guys have any goals that you have met and that you're proud of yourself, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. If you have goals that you are desperate to reach before the end of the year and you need a little motivation, I will be that person for you. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.